Hello, I'm Wesley Doolittle, Montgomery County Sheriff. Here to talk to y'all about a tragic incident that happened this morning on Interstate 45 northbound here in the city of Oak Ridge. Our officers were assisting the Oak Ridge Police Department with a accident investigation. Uh, Two of our deputies were providing cover for the investigators there, and one of our deputies was struck and killed this morning by a commercial motor vehicle that was driving northbound on the freeway. I believe it was right about the number 3 lane. Uh, I want to ask that y'all keep our agency, Deputy Serrato's family, and this community in your prayers. I've visited with her family this morning. I've talked with deputies that are on her shift, and they're pretty shaken. This is heartbreaking to see someone who's been with our agency for about 6 years now. I just pinned a badge on her chest to be a commissioned police officer in January. So she's someone that I know, I'm familiar with. I am very heartbroken about this. It's a tragedy. We live in a safe community. We appreciate law enforcement, and it's very, very hard for us to see this happen, to see a life taken so early. Someone that's been committed to public service since she was 18 years old. She's someone that just finished a call with her shift. She was smiling, she was happy, and she was doing something that she loved to do in Montgomery County in this community. So to see her life cut short in a tragic incident like this, I really don't have words. I can just rest on our faith, our community, the strength of our agency. And I want the deputies that work for the Montgomery County Sheriff's Office to know that we stand with them. We appreciate them. We appreciate the work that we do. And it's not something that myself or anybody standing here behind me doesn't do each day. I understand the dangers, and she understood the dangers. But it doesn't take away from the tragic event that happened here. So please keep our agency in your prayers. Texas Department of Public Safety is assisting with this investigation. They're going to be conducting the crash investigation. From what I understand, it's a very complex scene. There were multiple accidents that happened back to back with multiple injuries, and the driver of the vehicle has been transported to the hospital as well. So they're going to continue to investigate, and I want to give them an opportunity to talk about the investigation, and then we'll go over any questions you might have.
Hello, I'm Sergeant Aftosmes. That's AFTOSMES. I'm with the Texas Department of Public Safety. And I'm going to give you a brief update on this unfortunate incident we had here on Interstate 45 at the Woodlands Parkway on the northbound lanes. So this is a preliminary investigation, okay? It's all still unfolding, so I can't share much details with you. But what I can share is that our state crash team is out here working diligently to put back together this crash, like the sheriff said, multiple crashes, multiple vehicles, and of course involving the unfortunate fatality of our sheriff's officer deputy. We do expect that this lane, the northbound lanes, are going to be closed for an extended amount of time. We would ask the public to be patient to find alternate routes as it is shut down. And then we just want to remind the motoring public to ensure that they're moving over and slowing down for our emergency vehicles when they're out there on the roadway. And of course, our hearts are heavy at the loss of our deputy, and we ask for your patience in this investigation as we complete a thorough job that our troopers do. Thank you.
Drugs or alcohol played a role in this?
That's good. They're still trying to work through some of that. I was told one of the prior accidents may have had that as a factor, that one of our deputies made an arrest for a DWI, but not directly related to this fatality accident.
So the initial multi-vehicle crash, is that talking about that DWI crash? Is that what caused some sort of chain reaction of vehicles losing control or crashing?
I would say that they were conducting an investigation. They were in the process of conducting that investigation. Our deputies were providing traffic control for them when the secondary collision occurred.
Was there 2 crashes, 3 crashes? Or unclear on how many there were?
I think there were. All I could say right now is there were multiple. DPS is working through that because the number of vehicles involved. They're still going to have to review all the camera things and witnesses and stuff like that in order to get like a really good understanding of what happened out here. The way it was explained to me, it was a little bit hectic. that because of the number of vehicles and number of injuries that they're still working through those details. So if you give us a little bit of time, hopefully we can clear some of that up for you.
Can we get a number on how many vehicles were involved?
I'll let DPS answer that question. I don't know.
So, all I can share with you right now is it is all under investigation. It was very complex. Multiple crashes, multiple vehicles. Once we've allowed our investigators to get a full picture of what actually happened, we will be sure to put out the accurate, correct information about what happened with this crash. So unfortunately, we're not going to be able to take too many questions about the nature of the investigation and what happened in all these individual crashes right now. We're still working through it.
But the initial crash was while investigating a DWI crash, correct?
So I can't comment on what the investigation going on for that specific crash was, but they were investigating a crash, and that's when the following crash happened.
And also, can you share a number of injuries?
The number of injuries?
Yes.
I was told multiple, of course, our deputy, and then another motorist and maybe a couple witnesses. So you can imagine this is a violent crash involving a heavy commercial vehicle that had debris going all across the roadway and things, and one of our officers was also injured by the debris. So Deputy Hernandez has been with us for about a year. He's a 50-year-old deputy, or in his 50s. Former Harris County deputy, has about 30 years of experience. He was also injured. Is expected to recover.
So you said 13 years of experience?
30.
30. And can you confirm the deputy's name that was killed?
Erica Serrato, 24 years of age. She's been with our office for about 6 years. About a deputy for just about 6 months now.
6 months.
Did you report to jail division first? Or?
She started in the jail as a detention officer.
How old is she?
She's 24. Her birthday's next month. She'll be 25.
Now, wait, sorry, 1 second. because I didn't-
Yes, ma'am.
Could you re-say this about Deputy Erica Serrano, please?
Say that louder.
Deputy Erica Serrano, could you tell us that information again? I couldn't hear her.
She's 24 years old. Her birthday.
Only been with you guys for 6 months?
No, 6 years. She'd been on the road for about 6 months.
I can give you guys all the details on her and the other deputy that was injured as well, and I'll make sure you have name, spelling, and all of that correct. So if there's no other questions for Sheriff, we're good
One
to
thing
go.
I would like to add in closing, though, before we close out, is just please give this family a little bit of room, a little bit of respect while they work through their loss and try to determine what their future is going to be. So if we could respect that, give them a little bit of time, we'll work through our public information office and officers and with Texas DPS to give y'all more accurate information as we can and more details. You know, I will tell you that they're also looking into the investigation could result in criminal charges. So we may not be able to share everything about that to protect the integrity of that investigation. Thank y'all for coming out and supporting our agency. We appreciate that. Please keep our deputies and our greater law enforcement community and this community in your prayers as we work through this.
Other than the department, does she have any immediate family that she's leaving behind? Husband, kids?
No, she's not married. She is.
My understanding is you were with the family this morning. Is that
I talked to the
correct?
families. Her mother and father are local. Her sisters. She has 2 sisters, and you know, just I'd like for their family to be able to be completely notified, because although we talked to the parents and one sister, there's still a sister that has not been notified.
This must be so tragic and hard for your department, especially losing one of your own. Just talk to us about, my understanding is y'all had a procession this morning to escort her body. Just the heavy weight and emotions that your deputies are feeling this morning.
Yeah, you know, after talking with our deputies this morning, they're completely heartbroken. They're devastated. To be standing beside a coworker who's killed next to you is something that none of us should have to go through. It's going to affect that officer for a very long time. And then her shift partners, they care deeply about her. She's a good person. She's a public servant. She's someone that loves our community. And that's going to be very hard to process, and that's going to be very hard to work through, to grieve through, and to be able to get in perspective. You know, law enforcement is a 24 hours a day, 7 days a week responsibility. We don't get to flip off the light switch and go home at 5 o'clock. We still have to serve this community. So keep our officers in your prayers, and just look out when you're driving. Be responsible. and help keep us safe while we're keeping you safe. Thank y'all so much.